Okay.
Let's do it.
Hey, I'm Krista Wax. You're listening to MSP Sound on KFAI, and I am joined by Geminize. Hey!
Hello.
Woo!
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So glad you could join me. And last time you were here was actually, well, we were in person back in the before,
Mm.
and
Good
it
old
was,
days.
and that was probably about 2 years ago. You came through KFAI. The whole performance, but you also had a different name. You went by the ukulele. So a lot has happened since then. New name, an album has come out. I what? Where do we begin?
I don't even know.
Yeah, we've been busy.
We have
We
been.
weren't just sitting around twiddling our thumbs.
Oh, let's talk about the album. Wild Hearts came out last fall.
Yeah, September 15th.
Oh my gosh, congrats.
Thank you. Yeah,
When? Oh, sorry.
it was awesome. That's all I was gonna say. It was a really great process, and we kind of we used the pandemic as an opportunity. All that time that we had to just pour ourselves into it and write more songs to create like a full concept and the support of our community. We did a Kickstarter to make it happen, and it wouldn't have happened without everybody helping us. So it was a really cool experience during a time where a lot of people were like having a hard time paying bills. They still wanted to help us out. So it was great.
That's amazing. I know I was gonna, of course, my follow up question was like, was this before the pandemic? But you were very productive. I love it. And thank you for putting out new music during this time. These are the things that are keeping me going. As I'm sure other people are, especially, I mean, we had a Kickstarter during this time and it was met. That says a lot.
Yeah, it was exceeded, which just kind of like blew us away. We hit our goal, and then we're like, we want to throw like a really big backyard party, and we have this dream. So we're like, let's go for a stretch goal. And then we hit that. And having that backyard like album release party, it was in my backyard. We were able to make it extremely COVID friendly and safe because we had so much space to work with and designated pods for everyone, and we had volunteers that helped and like a bartender and everything. And we just had like such a great time. And we were able to show our thanks and appreciation in person, like as close to possible to a sense of norm that we had before. We couldn't hug or high five, but there was a lot of, energy transferred, and it felt almost as good as hugs and high fives.
Lots of air hugs and air kisses
Yeah, kisses.
at
Mwah,
that.
mwah.
And that's the thing we've
Yeah,
been worried
yes.
about, like the balance of like performing and being out there and seeing people and also being responsible during this time. So we were able to play some outdoor shows and we felt pretty good about those. But with this party, we were able to like control every measure and make sure that everyone felt super cozy and safe and literally had pods out there where it's like you can't cross this pod, this is somebody's space, and masks in the bar area. And it was a really fun way for Gigi and I to put our heads together and be like, we can do this and make it responsible and safe, and just like a fun way to celebrate everybody that made this possible.
That's awesome. I feel like you really are trailblazers right there with your album release party with COVID friendly. Everyone has a pod. People could take some tips from you maybe next summer. I mean, maybe we'll be back to normal a little bit, but maybe we still
Fingers crossed.
right? Fingers crossed. But that's very cool. I think you said all the beautiful things of COVID safe and masks and distance and air hugs, which I know it's pretty hard. I'm glad you're able to celebrate though. I think that's kind of one of the hardest things that I get from talking to artists who've been putting out music, or even if they're contemplating putting out music at this time, is, well, we want to do an album release show, or we're going to wait until we can actually do a proper show. But I really admire that you just went ahead and did it and kept it safe. I love
It's
it.
possible during the summer.
Right? So, yes, it wasn't last week.
If anyone
Yeah.
needs any tips and it's still COVID next summer, we've got you covered. Just reach out to the Geminize. But I don't know what to do about the winter.
Yeah, right. Nobody does. No.
We're
Well,
all alone.
I know. It's gonna be tough, but we'll make it through. We'll make it through. Let's talk about the name change. Went from ukuleles, now we got Gemini's. Couple of Gemini's hanging out. Okay.
Went through an identity
Yeah,
change.
it actually happened like when we were mid recording, mid studio. We had almost finished the album and we're like this close to putting it out there. And our producer, now good friend Chris at Studio 65, he was the one who was actually like, you know, there's other ukuleles out there, right? And we're like, yeah, but you know, we kind of like, we love who we are and we're the ukuleles. And he's like, but this album is just like so much more than what I expected of like the name ukuleles. Like it's like you guys have such a sound and voice and like meaning and matter behind your lyrics and the music that we had created together with him. Because on our album, it's not just us and our ukuleles. It's more, it's drums, it's bass, it's the things that we heard in our heads and don't play those instruments ourselves. So it was just really good to put all those elements together and be like, wow, this album is more than just the ukuleles. We're something bigger than that. So that very day, like Grace and I just sat down and contemplated name after name after name. And there was, this one name that we had kind of settled on was the Geminize. And we chose to spell it differently with the Gemn for Minnesota. Hey, hey. And Ize, because neither of us are Geminis. That's not our signs or anything. So
I was wondering, I was like,
not gonna pretend.
Yeah. But we came up with a lot of like reasons behind that name. Like, you know, people think we're twins or look alike or our sisters are related all the time. A gem, you know, like diamond, that's one of the like strongest like rocks and materials in the world. And we're so strong and we represent strong women and we love supporting like strong people. And even the album itself is about this, you know, person that like is a kid at first, but in the end just like finds her strength, finds her home, finds her heart. And yeah, it was just all those things. Oh, and we're, you know, twins who rock. Yeah, Gemini. So it meant a lot to us. And so it clicked. A switch just turned on once he said that. And we're like, yeah, we are more.
And we've been thinking about it for a while. It's a lot of times we would meet people at shows and say, we're the ukuleles. And they would, you know, be trying to find us at a show. And they're like, is this you? And we're like, no. There's so many options to pull up. And it would be, you know, a 15-piece ukulele band of ladies.
Right.
There's just a lot of ukuleles out there. And like, I like to say that we're still ukuleles at heart. And like, everybody's a ukulele at heart. But we are the Geminis who are two ladies who play the ukuleles. Along with other things now. So it was a good evolution for us. And the ukuleles really served our growing years, the first 5 years of us as a band, because we really were kind of finding our footing and just playing ukulele and learning ukulele really, and learning how to harmonize with each other and how to create music together. So this is more, I think, relevant for where we're today and what we want to do in the future too, because we are playing with different instruments and different sounds, and I think it's just a good way for us to launch forward.
I like it. I like it a lot. I wasn't expecting such a big answer for that. Like, way to bring it.
It was a big deal to us. So it had to be, you know, it had to mean something to us because we're like, well, we're probably going to stick with this name. So like, because when we picked ukuleles, it was like a week before we were supposed to play our first show together ever. And we're like, oh, I guess our band needs a name. let us get back to you on that. And, I think Grace came up with it and we're like, oh my God, this is the most cleverest name ever. And it was great. Yeah. To come out and be the ukuleles and find, our voice through that channel. But yeah, we've really, really grown.
That's amazing. Well, congrats on everything. That's so exciting. New name, new album. Like, yeah, during quarantine, nonetheless. I mean,
what else are you going to do?
Right. What? It's
a good question, Kristen.
Right? Just what? Tell me.
Do you want to know what we're going to be up to in the future?
I would love to know what you're going to be up to. How'd you know? No, I have no idea what
I would like to know too. No. We're just trying to stay patient and like really excited for it to be safe to get out there and play again. We had a residency at 331 back when you could be indoors, May of last year, so 2019, and that really like allowed us to meet a lot of people in the later night music scene and just we just want to play more shows once we can. So I think for me, my plan, since I don't get to see Gigi as often, is to write as much music as I can, and the day that we get to join forces is like we get to just go nuts and play a lot of music together and have a whole new set list when we get out there. Oh, and the podcast music. Gigi, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we kind of do this thing as a band where we create personalized songs for people. But we recently had a podcast reach out to us, which is a nonprofit, and they specialize in
motherless daughters.
Yes. And so what we created was their intro song, and just it kind of speaks to how we can be stronger together and build a community of network of support. And so we got to write the lyrics and music for their podcast intro and like theme song. So that was really, really cool. And it's a nonprofit we'd worked with before. We did a show for them, and just it's touching stories and touching hearts and souls of people that really work hard to make people's lives better. And so, yeah, it's really great to be a part of this project and say like, that was us.
That's very cool. Congratulations.
Thank
you. Gemnize taking over.
Little by little.
I don't know. During quarantine, you're like skyrocketing out of here. I love it.
Yeah, a lot of the album songs actually came out of quarantine. Grace and I were part of this Facebook Songwriters Challenge where I think like every 2 weeks we got like a word or prompt, and we had to just write songs out of it. And a lot of it, like so many of the songs on the album came from this challenge, because it made us write songs about things that we never would have like written about. Like I wrote a song about Billy from Stranger Things. So yeah. If you listen to the album, you'll know which one.
Yeah, you will know.
I think it literally has the word Stranger Things in it, but it's like tied in it in a way that you'd only know if you know.
I think like half of our album is from quarantine time.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And it was awesome. I mean, there's a lot of local musicians that are in the singer-songwriter group. Sarah Morris and Vicky
Emerson.
Yeah, Emerson, thank you. And I mean, just tons of great musicians. And so it's been really cool to, when that thing is going, the songwriting challenge, to feel connected to musicians in the Twin Cities and hear what they're up to and what their brains are coming up with during a really weird time. So it's been really, really fun for us to keep ourselves busy and keep ourselves working at that process. Personally, I find it's kind of hard to write songs when I'm not doing as much. I'm kind of at home a lot, hunkered down. And what I've realized is a lot of the songwriting process comes like when I'm driving in my car and I see something, or, you know, like have after an interaction with somebody or a challenging experience with somebody. And I mean, luckily life has been super chill over here at the McCready household, but it's not great for songwriting. So these challenges kind of make us think about things like the song Siren. The prompt was just write a song about like siren, and my brain took it a couple different ways of like a siren, like a mistress or a woman like pulling you in, and, or a man in my case in this song, and also an actual audible siren. And so it's just been kind of fun to have that literal prompt of like, think about this thing and write about it. Because like Gigi said, we probably never would have come up with those ideas without having a little gentle poke from the internet community.
Very nice. Yes, I would have gone the same direction with Siren. That was exactly a person that everyone pulls you in. That was exactly where my mind went. What about, so where can people find the album? Streaming everywhere?
Everywhere. We're on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, Napster, apparently. Is that still a thing?
You know, that thing that used to exist.
What year is it?
Still
Y2K.
Yeah.
It's like my MySpace profile that was floating around for years that I never knew how to shut down. Napster
Right?
is still there. So we're probably not going to get a lot of hits on Napster after this, but
I
after
think you
me
might.
selling it, yeah, they'll be like, what is this?
Napster's
But-
still a thing, yes.
We're going to bring it back. Napster's
Hey.
going to blow up.
The Geminis want you to bring Napster back.
Yeah.
Listen
our
to
resolution.
the album Wild Hearts on Napster tomorrow, or today even.
And if they want the physical CD, they can get that on your website.
They sure can.
All right. And Napster. Oh my gosh. I didn't know it was still. I mean, I know it's not like what it used to be in its heyday, but that's awesome. That's a great throwback. Throwback that's still current.
Yeah. It's an anomaly. We're just trying to stay hip.
Right.
When you release an album, they've got all these little boxes. Like, do you want to release it here, here, here? And it's like, why not Napster? Let's do it.
I think I have to go check Napster out now. Like, I think you're definitely going to bring a lot more to it now.
Listen to the Geminis Wild Hearts on Napster.
Right.
You can just like have that as a reel, as like a in between, like an advertisement.
We allow Napster to use this. Just credit us.
Right. Be like, everyone's coming to Napster to listen to the Geminis. What? What's happening? I love it.
This time
You're like
next
the top
year,
artist.
we'll be calling you from the penthouse suite. Chilling with Napster people.
I can't
Execs.
wait. Yeah.
In case that wasn't clear.
The Geminis. On that note, I thank you both so much for joining me, Grace, Gigi. It's a pleasure speaking with you. Congrats on the brand new album and the name change and like the new chapter. So excited to see where you all land next with this new chapter.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us on here. It's been a blast to see your face again.
And thank you for your support, Krista.
Oh,